Welcome to My American History Notes, where I discuss conclusions I've drawn from American history. Conclusions you might not agree with, might even be offended by, but I'm just hoping that you'll study American history and have come to your own conclusions. To begin, uh, the era we're talking about, during Kennedy's administration, he was able to get the minimum wage raised, but was unable to secure government paid medical benefits for older people. Believe it or not, it was a long time ago, older people did not have any special benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, that kind of thing. So during his administration, the Supreme Court decisions made state sponsored prayer and Bible reading illegal in public schools. Many states ordered the school day to start out with Bible reading. The drive for black civil rights continued under Kennedy, and he sent federal marshals to Montgomery, Alabama in 1961 when riots grew out of a black boycott of a bus line. Well, I'm going to try to touch on the events and prime movers of this struggle in the special topics class later. Kennedy also had federal troops intervene in riots at the University of Mississippi when James Meredith demanded to be enrolled in the previously all white school. Twice in 1963, excuse me, Kennedy called out National Guardsmen to protect black students in Alabama. In August of 1963, about 200,000 demonstrators descended on Washington in what was called the Freedom March, demanding action on civil rights legislation Kennedy had sent to Congress. Black leader Martin Luther King Jr. wanted more from Kennedy than Kennedy was politically prepared to do, but compromises were reached and progress was made. As schools began to be integrated after 100 years of segregation, some parts of America endured chaos. Some of the results of integration were increased violence against both white and black students and a massive increase in the rate and transmittance of STDs and drug use, which had previously only been a significant problem in black schools. Still, in spite of these difficulties, and after several decades, the integration of society had been accepted. There are, however, still tremendous tensions between racial and ethnic groups here, as in the rest of the world, only not quite as continually violent here in this country due to our economic well being. And that's the key to, I think, to racial harmony is success. Success will bring us together. If everybody gets a piece of the pie, and if the pie is actually made bigger so there is more opportunity, I think you'll see an improvement. Kennedy pressed the nation's scientists to step up the space race with the Soviet Union. In April of 1961, after the Russians sent the first man into space, the United States sent up its first astronaut to orbit the Earth, future Senator from Ohio, John Glenn Jr. Kennedy challenged the space scientists to land the first man on the moon, and beating the Russians to the moon became an obsession. The media loved Kennedy. His charm, patrician background, and youthful good looks were added to by his remarkably graceful and classy First Lady, Jacqueline or Jackie, to make him a star, not unlike those in Hollywood. Although critics point out his many adulterous affairs and possibly even one that helped secure his appointment with death, a relationship with a mafioso's girlfriend, this was an era when a politician's personal moral failings weren't always revealed by the press. His White House was nicknamed Camelot after the home of King Arthur, as if it represented some kind of golden age to the media and the left wing of the country, and that ended on November 22nd, 1963. Kennedy had continued Eisenhower's support for the Catholic dominated government of South Vietnam, led by dictator Diem, but the civil unrest and totalitarian behavior of the Roman Catholic head of that country made further support impossible. Kennedy authorized a CIA backed coup, and the resultant assassination of Diem was inevitable. Less than 3 weeks after this politically directed killing of a foreign head of state, Kennedy himself was assassinated, allegedly by Lee Harvey Oswald in Dallas, Texas. There are so many conspiracy theories abounding about this event that I will leave their exploration up to you. The government sponsored Warren Commission said that Oswald alone was responsible. The House Select Committee on Assassinations released a report in 1979 suggesting the likelihood of a conspiracy. An explanation of our involvement in defending the government of South Vietnam is a complicated and lengthy one, but can be summarized in our belief that fighting communism in this former French colony was an important as part of the policy of containment of the Soviet Union. It was believed that if Vietnam fell, then a sort of domino effect would result in the fall of other countries in the region to communism. We were committed to hold the line in Vietnam, although it has been said that at the end, Kennedy was looking for a way to extricate the few troops we had there as he viewed the situation as a hopeless quagmire. There are a great many books on the causes of the Vietnam War, but one of the most thorough and most controversial is Avro Manhattan's Vietnam, Why Did We Go? This work deals with the root causes of the war from a religious perspective and a Cold War perspective. So, also recommend that you read a book entitled Unheralded Victory, about how successful we actually were militarily in Vietnam, but politically failed. So we'll begin with Lyndon Baines Johnson's administration next. I look forward to talking to you again. I hope you study American history, come to your own conclusions, which will be totally different from mine, but at least you'll be studying and have your own opinion. Take care.